What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the mythic weapons and how you can get them in Fortnite Star Wars Galactic Battle. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more. Let me know down in the comments below which mythic weapon is your favorite this season. And when comparing these current mythic weapons to, let's say, the mythics we had last season, I think a lot of these mythics are far less impactful and a lot more balanced than what we had last season. If you look at like the mythic drum gun last season, mythic pump maybe, or like the Baron's mammoth pistol, which had 2 shots, a lot of these mythics are just slightly better. They're not like significantly better, and they're not unique weapons like how we had in the drum gun. The first we're going to talk about is going to be the mythic IQ-A11, or the DMR as I call it. This can be obtained by trading General Grievous a Jedi lightsaber. It has to be the Jedi lightsaber. He does not accept Sith lightsabers, and he is located outside what used to be the Masked Meadows Black Market. And compared to the legendary DMR, the mythic one has 3 additional damage and 6 additional headshot damage at 148. And this added damage is nice, and in some situations it'll be a difference maker. Like if you had an opponent at exactly 148 HP, and you headshot them with the mythic, you'll get that elimination, whereas you wouldn't have got it with the legendary. But it doesn't really push it over the edge in any sort of like noticeable threshold versus a full HP opponent. When you look at the DMR, every rarity from blue and higher will only take 2 headshots to eliminate a full HP opponent in 0 build. Someone could be 250 health, you headshot them twice with the blue one, and that's good to go. And obviously every rarity higher than blue is going to do more damage, so it's going to, have that same effect. And then the mythic's damage isn't increased enough to make it like eliminate a full HP opponent in 1 headshot and 1 body shot. That would still only end up at 224 damage, which is, really solid out of 2 shots. But my point is that it like doesn't really change how you can play or really open up something different that the other versions of this DMR can't do, or that the other higher rarity versions can't do. And because this isn't a drastic difference, it's not a huge priority to me. But if it's convenient for me to get, I'll definitely go and grab it. Like, I like landing at Masked Meadows, so I'll often kind of be rotating through this area. And if there's a Jedi trainer nearby, or, I eliminate someone who has a blue lightsaber while I'm already over there, I'll definitely go and take it to Grievous. But if I land like Flooded Frogs or Brutal Boxcars, it's probably not a huge priority to me to go like super far out of my way to get this mythic DMR. And that's kind of how I feel about all of the mythics this season, or most of them, is like, it's nice just to get a good version of something you already wanted. Like if you have a green, it'll be a nice upgrade to have this. But if I already have like a purple or gold, it's really not going to be that much of a difference maker. And so I really only want to get these when it's like very convenient for me. The mythic F11 is actually the one that is the most unique. I think this can be obtained by eliminating Captain Phasma at the first order base. And compared to the legendary, this mythic only has 1 additional damage, which is not really that noticeable, especially for like a spray weapon. But it also has a slightly higher fire rate at 6.65 rather than the 6.45 the regular F11s have, which again is not a drastic difference. The fire rate stat in Fortnite is shots per second, so it's like not even shooting an additional shot per second. But when you're increasing both the damage a little bit and the fire rate a little bit, you're getting a weapon that is a little more unique or improved in a noticeable way. DPS wise, the mythic will have 199.5 DPS, which is damage per second, compared to the legendary's 187. So it's like a little, like basically 13 more DPS, which I don't like DPS as a stat. A lot of people look at it as like the end all be all statistic. But there's so much more that goes into Fortnite weapons than just DPS. That aside, though, I was just kind of using that to point a picture of like, it's slightly better than legendary. It's good to have. I enjoy having it. But I'm not going to land at the first order base, like going super far out of my way to get it. But I definitely will hunt down the medallion player and take this, because the F11 is one of my favorite weapons this season. And so having the best version of that is going to be great. But it doesn't feel, game changing. Like I need to play around this in the same way that a lot of last season's items has. And that's kind of what I was talking about at the start of the video. Last season when we had the drum gun or the rift gun or whatever your favorite exotic or mythic was, a lot of people were landing on those. And from the moment they were playing the game, they were trying to get it because those weapons were that good at times. Whereas a lot of these mythics, it's just slightly better. It's nice to have, but it's not like night and day. This changes how you can play. And so that core. I feel like this season is a lot more balanced because of that. The Mythic A280, which is going to be the red dot AR, can be obtained by capturing the chest on the train, similar to how the Mythic Hollow Twister AR was in Season 1. The first person to hack the chest on the train will get it. If the chest has already been hacked by somebody else, when you do the second hack, you won't get the Mythic, you'll just get heals, I believe. Or supplies as well, but you won't get the Mythic, it's only the first person to hack it. And compared to the Legendary, this has 2 additional damage at 35 versus the Legendary's 33. Same story as the other ones. It's slightly better. If you like having the A280 and that's like your favorite AR this season, then sure, landing somewhere, you know, at the train or around the train and, you know, getting this is going to make it to where you have the best version of something that you like to start the game, and that's good. That's going to be a box checked for you, and that's something that I feel like is a bit of a bigger deal this season because of how few means there are to get good loot. It doesn't seem like there's, you know, as many NPCs on the map at the moment. There's not the black markets. So being able to guarantee you get this legendary or mythic, I mean, it's good. But if you don't already prefer the A280, this probably isn't going to make you prefer it. Me personally, I think I enjoy running the F11 and the DMR together at times. And this doesn't make me, the mythic doesn't make me want to use it over the F11, and it doesn't replace my DMR either. So I don't really go far out of my way to get this. But if you know, if the A280 is your favorite weapon, consider, you know, getting the train. The final blaster we're going to be talking about is going to be the Mythic DL44. This can be obtained by eliminating Shogun X on the island, which will spawn in 4th zone. And compared to the Legendary, it has 2 additional body damage at 43 versus the Legendary's 41. So a bit more damage, not a game changer really. I really enjoyed my time using this pistol. I hadn't used it much this season, and so the only time I've really used it is the Mythic one. But I just don't really feel that motivated to use it because of the other items that are in the loot pool. This is kind of reminiscent of like the Monarch pistol to me. I kind of wish it had that effect where it shot faster when you hit fire. That would make it really interesting. But it's kind of like a slower fire rate, hard-hitting pistol. And so using this as, you know, a ranged weapon, it could be good, but do I want to take it over the DMR? No. Is it better than the DT-15, I think is what that weapon is called at long range, the like slow firing LMG? Probably not. So this pistol is a good weapon, but unfortunately it's in a season full of a lot of other good weapons that do basically the same thing it does while being more versatile. So I don't really feel that inclined to use this pistol. If you just want to play for fun, it is, you know, it was an enjoyable weapon to use for sure, but I wouldn't go so far out of my way to get it. And going to island and defeating Shogun X it makes it the most inconvenient of all of these items to get. It's the most difficult. It's not like fighting Shogun X is the hardest thing ever, but it's more of a hassle than any of the other weapons we've talked about. And so I really wouldn't recommend going for this. This is the only one I wouldn't recommend. If you like the DMR, if you like the F11, if you like the A280, then sure, go for those. It's going to be nice to have them, but it's not going to be something that really just like wins you the game in the same way that some of the mythics could last season. The DL44, it's good, but I wouldn't recommend going for it. Now we're going to talk about the lightsabers. These can be obtained by getting Jedi training. All across the map, there will be little indicators that pop up for Jedi and Sith training. And when you interact with the NPC, you will be given their lightsaber and a force ability if you get the training. If you take the lightsaber off somebody who you eliminate, you only have a melee weapon. You don't have access to the improved movement or the force ability. The force push can be obtained by the Ray Jedi. This will throw things away from you, and this can be quite good when pushing positions of advantage. If you have somebody on a mountain and you want to push him, getting up to him and then using the force push to knock him off can be a great way to start the fight. Or just like sort of any fight. If you could throw your opponent into an area that's like disadvantageous for them to be in, that's going to make it easier for you to win the fight. This doesn't cause fall damage though. And so if you knock somebody off a mountain, you're not just going to eliminate them that way. But you could, you know, throw them into an area that makes you that gives you a huge advantage in the fight, or throw them into storm. I know that's something a lot of people like to do endgame. The Jedi or the shock ability can be obtained by the Emperor Palpatine NPCs. These are going to be the red icons on the map. This just gives you an electricity damage over time aspect. You can melt opponents down and do damage to them. Interestingly enough, this will disable vehicles, whether it's cars or the flying spaceships. If you hit them with the lightning, they will be disabled for a period of time. The amount of time they're disabled is not nearly as long as an EMP grenade, but it's still something that you can do to get those people to fight you. And then Darth Vader's lightsaber can be obtained by defeating the Darth Vader NPC at Shogun Solitude, or whatever they renamed that place to. Once you defeat him, you can interact with him like the other NPCs and then get his lightsaber. And this one has a thrown ability. At times, people would kind of use this to get damage through builds. They would kind of throw it and then position themselves in a way where it would have to travel through enemy builds to get to them, or travel through like a shield bubble to get to them. Not the biggest deal to me personally, and I don't really like the offensive abilities of these lightsabers that much. If I had to rank them, I would probably put push the highest, and then the shock, and then probably the Vader one. But I think the movement aspect is what people like most about the lightsabers, and then the push can be, you know, good in some niche scenarios. The medallions this season are also a noticeable step back from last season's, I think. We have Captain Phasma's medallion and then Shogun X's medallion, which is the same as it was last season. So the shield medallion from Shogun X, if you eliminate him on island, you will get this, and then it gives you a shield bubble when you heal. As I touched on with the pistol, though, it's inconvenient to fight Shogun X. It leaves you open to getting third-partied or, you know, just caught off guard by somebody. It's not something I really want to do or go for. This medallion, I don't really think is that helpful. I didn't think it was good last season. I still don't think it's good. It's just not worth the hassle. And then Captain Phasma's medallion will make it to where the blasters, you can shoot them for longer before they overheat, and then they'll cool down faster. And this just basically gives you a pseudo extended mag, like you can shoot for longer and then, you know, shoot again sooner after the weapons cool down. It's nice to have. It's not a game changer though. Like, I don't feel like I'm winning fights that I wouldn't have won because of this medallion, and I don't feel like I can play in a different way than I could without it. Last season when we had the Fletcher Kane medallion, if you had that, you had the ability of sprint bash, and so you could sprint bash bat users or anybody that kind of you catch an awkward timing, maybe around a bush. You could knock them back, and that would make the fight a bit easier for you. It was like basically a force push ability that you would activate by sprinting into somebody, right? And it was really nice because it would counter the bat. We look at like Grim Gate season, chapter 5, season 2. When you had the Grim Gate medallion, you had regenerating and dashes, and now you have a way that you can play that other people maybe can't play. Emma Frost scan medallion, scan the area, it's great. The Captain Phasma medallion, it's nice to have. It's not game changing. I don't really feel like if I get this, I have a better chance to win that much. And I also feel like if I'm playing against somebody using it, I don't feel like at a huge disadvantage. There's times where it maybe will matter and change the outcome of the game, but I don't think the effect of this is worth putting you on the map. Normally, this isn't something that I'd care very much about, but with this season having the flying spaceships, the TIE Fighter and the X-Wings, I feel like when I had this medallion, every time I got it, I was like getting just attacked by those spaceships out of nowhere, and you can definitely beat those spaceships and eliminate those players, but that's just a fight you don't want to be having. I don't want to just be getting attacked by a spaceship randomly, and ever since I stopped taking this medallion, I started to win a lot more in this season, and so that is what I think of the mythics and the medallions this season. I think the medallions are really not worth carrying. Some of the mythics are worth getting, but they're not worth, you know, basing your entire game plan around. But that is going to be it for this video. As always, if you guys did find this to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.